Hi, this is Rachel. Thank you for coming to my channel. I just got done reading a book and I just wanted to talk about that today. And that book is called The Faithful Spy by Hendrix. So I saw this book was in my library, and I saw it on a few different YouTubers who was on like their TBRs. And I was like, I really, really want to read this book. It looks really interesting. It's a faith book, got faith in it. It's a graphic novel. It's classified as like YA or children's literature. But yeah, I just thought it was really, really cool. Like, look at that. It's amazing. I was really interested in this book because I don't know much about Hitler and the whole concentration camps. I've always wondered like how that could ever happen, like how a country could let something like that happen. So I was like, let me get this book and see. It looked super interesting. So my thoughts on this book are kind of divided. Of course, the artwork is amazing. Absolutely amazing artwork. Like there's tanks coming out of that it's a wolf's mouth. Like super cool. I so the book is based on Dietrich Bonhoeffer and the plot to kill Hitler. And so he's a preacher, and he ends up being part of a spy group who's trying to kill Hitler. And they go through his life as a young child, how he was raised in Germany, and he loved his German nation. His country had went through World War One, and because of that, there was this peace treaty that Germany had signed with other nations, and it demanded that Germany pay these other nations a lot of money, for the damage that they had done in the war. And so Germany was like, they paid the money, but the amount of money that they had to pay was outrageous. It left the German nation in total and complete like poverty, poorness. Like they couldn't pay for anything. People were starving. And then the Great Depression hit. And so they had such high inflation, and Germany was in such a bad spot financially and economically, that was what had enabled Hitler to rise to leadership. Because I was always really confused as to how Hitler got to where he was at. It was basically because the country was in such a low spot that they felt so defeated that here comes a man who is who who looks like he wants to help Germany, who looks like he wants to um, cause them prosperity and like not look like the country that got beaten. Um, that he wanted to go and take revenge against these places that have basically made Germany look like a bad country. So that's one way that he got into power. So during this time, Dietrich, the preacher, he was studying to become like a theologian, and then he eventually became a minister. So he became part of this spy group that looked like they were Nazis, and that they, were part of the Nazi party. But they were actually spying on the Nazis to get intelligence from them to figure out when they could assassinate Hitler. And they had assassinated him attempted to, sorry, they didn't assassinate him. They had attempted to assassinate him on 3 different occasions. Um, okay, so one of those occasions was when Hitler was going to get in a plane and go somewhere. And one of the generals was part of the spy group. And he had this box or suitcase that was supposed to have like brandy in it. And so he asked one of the other generals who was going on this plane with Hitler, he said, hey, can you take this suitcase of brandy and can you put it on a plane? It needs to go to a friend of his wherever they were flying to. And so they took the box and put it on the plane, and that box had bombs in it. Okay, so the bomb was on the plane with Hitler, and they were expecting at any minute, they were like listening for it on the radio scanner for the bomb to blow up and to hear that Hitler had been assassinated. And they never heard it on the radio. Like, he made it to where he was going, everything was fine. Well, what they had found out was that then they had to go get the bomb out of the plane so that it wouldn't detonate and kill people that were, somewhat innocent and not Hitler, and so that they wouldn't, like, even if the bomb didn't kill anybody, so that they wouldn't be accused of trying to kill Hitler. So they had to go back and get the bomb off the plane. And what they had found was that they think that the cold air had caused it not to work the way it was supposed to work up in the elevation. So I love the story about like learning about Nazi Germany and how things can happen like that in a culture. I loved seeing like Dietrich's like sometimes he had like a hard time like believing like that because he was like a pacifist and believed that he shouldn't kill people, but then his views were changed when he like realized like the only way to stop these atrocities was to get rid of Hitler. And so he's like, I gotta kill this person or get this person killed in order to help everyone else, basically. So like he had a bunch of different things happen to him, like spiritual things happen to him. Like he for a long time said that he didn't feel God when he was in prison for like a year. But then when he was like sentenced to die, he like felt the presence of God with him, even though he believed God and was trying to treat people the way God wanted him to be treated. So yeah, I can see like Dietrich's growth, spiritual growth in this book, and how he helped be a spy in the assassination of Hitler. I just have a really hard time seeing where he was like a big asset to the assassination of Hitler. And maybe I need to read more on it. Maybe he was a bigger asset, but like to me, I didn't really see that in this book. So that's what I would say was the downfall of this book is I'm sure that Dietrich Bonhoeffer was really helpful at this time period. I just don't know how, because I don't feel like it was shown in this book how he was really helpful. I've heard of and read stories about people during this time period, and some of the things that they had went through were horrendous. And I understand why there is a book written about those people, because they have been through some very extremely difficult times and situations. But Bonhoeffer's experience, like in prison, like he was actually like he had the freedom to like leave if he wanted to. He had like the guards really showed a lot of favor on him for different reasons. So I don't understand really why this book was like written about him. This guy who blew up the place that Hitler was at, and Hitler didn't die, but he was, you know, shot in front of a firing squad. Like, I can understand why if this book was written about him, but I don't necessarily understand why it was written about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, because I don't feel like he did anything super out of the ordinary. Like, yeah, he was out part of this spy group, and yeah, he had a hard time in prison. But I mean, everyone had a hard time during that time period. So I wish I knew like what was special about him to have a book written about him. So yeah, if you guys have any information about this guy and what was like so special about him, I'd love to know. And I hesitate to say that because obviously I've never been through a Holocaust or been killed, or like I've never been through those things. I've never tried to assassinate someone. So I can see like a little bit of like his spiritual growth and seeing that like as a Christian, sometimes you have to do extremely difficult things to stand up for what's right. So yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew what was like super. Maybe I missed it. And if anybody else has read this book, I would love to hear like your opinions about it. I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for watching my channel, and have a great day. Bye.